More than 100 Year 13 Mount Albert Grammar students marched to their school today, claiming they were banned from their last day to avoid pranks. In an email sent to parents last night, the Auckland school said instead of attending their final day, Year 13 students had been granted study leave. The principal, Patrick Drum, says the decision wasn't made to avoid pranks. However, students disagree and stormed onto the grounds in protest. Our reporter, Katie Scotcher, was there.
Year 13s at Mount Albert Grammar School were expecting to go to school for their final classes today. But at the 11th hour, they discovered this wouldn't happen.
Yesterday, we were called into assembly at 2:30 p.m. and we were told that we have today off as study leave and that we were going to be treated as adults.
That's Hannah Zwalaway. She had originally organised a picnic for her classmates to celebrate their last day of class at a nearby park. But that quickly turned into a protest. More than 100 students marched onto the Mount Albert Grammar School grounds this afternoon, claiming their last day was cancelled to avoid pranks. Hannah says that upset many of her classmates.
Lots of people were very upset. I know quite a few people were crying. There was a lot of anger as well. People were very mad about it.
Hannah says celebrating the final day of high school is a rite of passage.
Every single adult seems to remember their last day of school very fondly and they have very great memories of it, and we don't have that at all.
Fellow Year 13 student Ruben Cato says the move shows the school doesn't trust its students.
They're saying 1 minute we trust you guys are so great, and then next minute saying, oh, by the way, we actually don't trust you in the slightest.
Another student, Theodore Haringa, was one of those who stormed onto the school grounds.
They're just trying to save face and keep up the good image of the school at the cost of the student experience.
Mount Albert Grammar headmaster Patrick Drum was nowhere to be seen as the students flooded onto the grounds. But earlier he said students weren't banned to avoid pranks.
I wasn't aware of any pranks planned, but certainly that may have been a possibility, but we've just sort of taken that out of the equation and said, sending a strong message that our primary concern for them is finishing the year strongly and positively.
Patrick Drum says today isn't the 450 students' last day at school.
Their final day is actually on Monday. That always has been. That is also their prize giving it on Monday afternoon here at school for them and their families. And then we go on to another major event, which almost all of the Year 13s will be attending, which is their Leavers Dinner on Monday night.
It may not have been the final day of classes the Mount Albert Grammar students were expecting, but the protest at least may have been the rite of passage they were after. I tamaki makoto mō te hōtaka o te iahiahi nei, ko Katie Scotcher aho.